What's going on, guys? Michael right here, and today we're going to be talking about budget photography strobes. We're going to be talking about what I think is one of the best values in the business today, the Interfit S1. Okay, I know this may not be the most exciting strobe out there. It doesn't have a big brand name. You haven't seen a ton of photographers use it. So let's talk about the specs. High-speed sync, TTL, 500 watts, removable battery. You can also plug it into the wall. I just want to let you guys know this isn't a review where the company sent me something or I had something for a weekend or I went to Best Buy to play around with something for 5 minutes. This is my personal unit. I've used it on a ton of shoots, and in addition to this one, I've got a couple more. The quality of light that comes out of this thing is really good. I'll show you some images, and I've used these for headshots, weddings, corporate events, commercial shoots, catalog shoots, product photography, and I'm just really happy with the light. So one of the things that makes it a good value is the price. Under $500, and in a lot of cases you get a free remote with it. 500 watts, and if you were to get one of these from Profoto that was similar in specs and everything, you'd be looking at about $2,000. Now myself, I got 4 of these at around 500 bucks a pop with the free remote, and it allows me to be able to do 2 light, 3 light, 4 light setups. The other good thing is it gives me backup. So in case I ever have to send one of these in under warranty, I still have 3 that I can take to a wedding or corporate event or whatever. Most of the time I only use 2 lights for a lot of my setups, and the 3rd light that I have with me is just as a backup. To trigger the strobe, you can use the Interfit remote, or it has an optical slave, or it has a sync jack on the side. The sync jack is really good. I have some pocket wizards that I've had lying around for years that I've used with different brands in the past. And it's really good to be able to just plug that in a pinch wherever I needed to use, let's say at a reception where I was using an on-camera flash, but then I also wanted to trigger my strobes in the corner as well. The remote itself, all right, to be honest with you, isn't the best quality in terms of like hard plastics. It definitely feels a little bit more flimsy than the Profoto remotes that I've had in the past. But again, you're using a product that's 1/4 the cost of that, so what do you expect? But it does have all of the functions on here that I like. I can do a test shot, I can control 3 groups, A, B, and C. I can change the power in all 3 of those. I can shoot manual, I can shoot TTL. I can turn on and off the beep. I can also control the modeling lamp and turn the modeling lamp on and off. Before I go any further, please, please, please hit that subscribe button. We've gone from 30, 40 viewers up to around 300. And while that may not be enough for YouTube to send me a plaque to hang on my wall, I appreciate each and every one of you. I love all the comments you guys have been leaving. This is fun for me. This is therapeutic in a way. So I'm enjoying it as much as you are. And the bigger we get this thing going, the better it's going to be, whether it's giveaways, Facebook groups, meetups, whatever. Like, if we get this thing going, we can do some really cool stuff together. So anyway, hit that button and back to the review. The battery that this uses is really good. I had one commercial job where I was using it at half power and I got 791 shots before I had to replace it with another battery. The color consistency was really good. And like I said, you always have that option to plug it into the wall in an emergency. More on that in a second. Now let's talk about some of the problems that I've had with these. So earlier I talked about the fact that you can plug these into the wall. And the only time that I've ever had any issues with any of these strobes is when I plugged it into the wall. Now, I had a headshot session inside the studio and the battery was getting low and I plugged it into the wall, and for whatever reason, it just started turning off and on, off and on, off and on. And then I just found another battery real quick and swapped it into there. I sent it off to Interfit, like I said, in Atlanta. It got swapped out for a new one, no problem. I had one other wedding where I was using a different light that pretty much the same thing happened on, except for I'd been using it in the wall prior to that. And at the wedding, I was using just the battery only. And again, it was turning off and on, off and on. Sent it to Atlanta. They sent me a new one back, or they sent me a fixed version of it. I forget. But I know what you're gonna say. All right, you had 2 issues within a year with only 4 strobes, that's not a good hit rate in terms of quality. But from what I've been told from, other people, these don't really like being plugged into the wall that much. So if you're gonna get these, I would just use the battery all the time and only use the plug if you're ever in an emergency. These strobes have taken a beating on different weddings with me. I had one wedding in particular where it was a brunch wedding and they got married on the beach at noon, and it was a black couple. And so obviously if you're on the beach at noon with black people, like, you're gonna need a lot of flash unless you really wanna blow out the sky. So these were being shot at full power and they kept up. Like, they didn't shut off, they didn't overheat, they didn't do any of that. Now contrast that with the Photo B1s I had. They were a little finicky when it came to being on the beach in hot sun and humidity, and there were times on shoots at weddings with those where, like, they just shut off. And I haven't had that problem with these. So, I'm not saying that these are better than Photo, but just in my experience, the Photo B1s that I had shut down on the beach, whereas these kept going. So, take that for what it's worth. Your mileage may vary, yada, yada, yada. All right, so we talked about Photo, we talked about Broncolor a little bit. There's also Godox. Now, look, I don't necessarily think that these are actually going to be a Godox killer per se. If you're already in that ecosystem, this isn't something that may make you want to jump out of it. However, if you're just getting into strobes and you're looking at Godox, I think this is a good alternative. Don't want Rob Hall or any of the other Godox Mafia coming after me because I said something bad about Godox. They're good. It's just, I think this is a good alternative. That's why I'm wearing camouflage, in case they come after me. I can, like, jump in the bushes real quick and they won't see me and I can get out of here. Because those don't play when you talk about Godox. 2 sort of FYI things. So I have a Pelican case. I have the Pelican case 1610, and 3 of these fit in it perfectly. So if you are looking to get 1 or more of these, I'd also recommend looking into getting that case. So one other thing that I like to do is I like to letter my strobes and I like to number the battery. And part of that reason is because if I'm on a shoot and I've got 2 or 3 lights up on the light stand and I need to adjust one quickly, like at a wedding, I can just look up and see the size of this and see that this is B, the other one's A, the other one's C, so I know which one to change on my remote. I also put a number on the battery so that way, if I ever have a problem with the battery, I can figure out if it's 1, 2, 3, or 4. I can just take it from this one and put it in the next one, and if week after week I realize that battery 3 goes out of juice a lot quicker than the other 2 or 3, then there it is. I can go ahead and get that one fixed. The letters and numbers are just standard issue mailbox letters and numbers. You can get these at Home Depot for $2. If you want, I'll leave a link below to like an Amazon affiliate link, whatever. If you want to get some of these, I strongly recommend it. I mean, it'll save you a ton of time on a shoot without having to go over to the light, lower it, look at it, raise it back up, whatever. Okay, so let's quickly talk about some of the modifiers. Again, it comes with the standard 7-inch reflector. Myself, I like to put a little sock on the front of this. These are some socks that I had back when I was using my Einstein stuff. Because again, 7-inch reflector is a 7-inch reflector. I just feel like it takes a little bit off and it makes it feel a little bit more like an umbrella versus a bare strobe. Now, obviously it's not gonna be as soft as an umbrella, but it does soften the light a little bit by going through this very small layer of diffusion. In addition to the standard 7-inch strobe, I also purchased the Interfit version of this. Depending on how you look at it, it's basically just a long throw reflector. If it were Photo, maybe it would be like the Magnum reflector or something like that. But, I use this whenever I have a beach wedding or in a scenario where, I want to throw light over a distance where maybe, I've got a couple and they're posing in front of a limo on a beautiful street or something like that, and I don't want my light stands in the shot. This goes back really far, and I also have a sock that goes over the front of this. This combination is really nice. It really amps up the power, so if you're worried that 500 watts may not be enough for your purposes, I definitely recommend, you know, getting one of these and this as well. Anyway, that's the review. Like I said, I strongly recommend this thing. You know, I've used it over the last year. It's been good for me, even with the warranty issues that I've had. They've been handled well, so no gripes there. You know, again, I've seen this thing on different sites for as low as $450 in some cases, and definitely around $499 in some other cases, and with a free remote as well. So, you know, while supplies last, I definitely recommend you go out and check out one of these. I'll see about leaving some links below. Like, share, subscribe, hit the button, notification bell, all that stuff. It would mean a great deal to me. I'll see you at the next one. Peace.